announce it again. Sure, you can run out and grab
Or
it.
something, I mean, I don't know, because they can't hear the sound up there right now.
Really? There's 3 speakers in the hall. Yes, ma'am, proceed.
My name is Cheryl Hoffman. I live in Irvine, and I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak. Obviously, I'm not for aerial spraying. That's a real concern for me. And I guess I'd like to say that it feels like I'm hearing that you've done a lot. I think there's a lot more that can be done. This is such an emergency. I wonder why I don't see signs everywhere I go. Starbucks has bulletin boards. I'm sure it'd be open to having public service information about what to do for mosquitoes in this kind of a crisis. And I don't understand why I'm not seeing that. So I really would encourage you to do further outreach, because this is a human problem. We live in a desert, very dry area. We're obviously in a drought, and if we have standing water and mosquitoes, it's because we've caused it. And I think that there's a lot we can still do to take care of that. So I would like to encourage that. And I'd also like to put a face to a different piece of the issue, which is the chemical sensitivity issue. I am somebody who's chemically sensitive. I will be seriously affected if you spray. I'll need to leave town for a couple of days, as will my family, because they also are chemically sensitive. The symptoms that woman spoke about earlier in the winter about what it felt like to have West Nile virus, some of those symptoms were very similar to the symptoms that we experience. And when it's really bad, it's really awful. And I would really, it terrifies me. So I hope that you continue to do some more outreach. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen Takamori?
Hi, thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak. I just have just a little something I wanted to say. I live in Westminster and have been a resident of Orange County for over 30 years. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 4 children, ages 2, 4, 6, and 7. My kids love bugs. They love hunting for them. They love learning about them. They love holding them. We very frequently travel with this Audubon guide, so we learn about them wherever we go. We find something new. And we returned from a 3-day camping trip yesterday in Tribuco Canyon, and there were various types of bees. My 4-year-old, this was her depiction of our camping trip. It's a picture of a happy smiling bee. At some points there were more than 50 surrounding us. They were wanting our food, they were wanting our water. My kids could not care less. They were happy that they were there. They respect the bees. They understand their vital role in our ecosystem, and they were happy to have them there. Let's see. And they're sad for the bees. They're terrified of the possibility of being sprayed. I have asthma, and I'm very highly affected by what's in the air. My kids are chemically sensitive as well, and they're terrified. As we were walking over, my 7-year-old said, "Kids at play, please don't spray." And I said, "No, that's a really good motto. That was a really good thing to say. Would you like to say it?" And so she wanted me to share that with you. The CDC and Dr. Eric Handler, the county public health officer, both admitted that 80% of those who contract the West Nile virus have very few or no symptoms. 20% will have a fever or body aches. Less than 1% suffer neurological complications. Over 3 million people live in our county, and you're wanting to contaminate everyone and everything for less than a 1% likelihood that someone might suffer neurological complications.
Thank you very much for your comments. Carrie Ledoux?
Hi, I'm Carrie. I want to say ditto everything that Kristen said. I would just like to add that we buy organic produce, local organic produce. How will that affect the produce that I'm feeding my children that is being sprayed? They play at playgrounds, they love bugs, all those same things. I guess I'm just going to say, like, please don't spray our playgrounds, our gardens, our pets, our bugs, our bees. Continue educating everyone. We don't standing water. Facebook, post it. We'll do it. We'll wear the bug spray. Like, all those things are great. Just please don't spray. Thank you.
Noble? Pardon me?
I will be speaking on Lou Noble's behalf. I'm on the list. I'm just further down in East Haven. My name is Joanne Sosa on behalf of Lou Noble. I also echo the ladies before me, but I'm going to address in specific because a lot of people are going to be talking about those issues with chemicals, is the homeless. And I'm really concerned, I'm very concerned about what's going to happen to the homeless that are sleeping in the riverbeds. That's a separate issue, but not when they're living there, not when we're gonna be spraying. And I remember in the nineties specifically when they were spraying chemicals, how it's so caustic, it took paint off our cars. Kids had a lot of reaction with allergies, people have asthma. Take a look at the people who are homeless there, some of them are vets, and I hope you know that that's what's happening out there. We have a lot of elderly, a lot of seniors. I'm a caregiver, I deal with people with heart transplant and also with different respiratory illnesses. And my concern is those people who are outside, those people who cannot get to a shelter, there is no place for them to go. Can we take a more humanely savvy look at what's going on? We have such high technology. I mean, we are the United States. We're America, the greatest country on earth. It seems like, we have a lot of wonderful people, think tanks that can maybe come up with a better solution, or at the very least, get the homeless a place while you're spraying, because that residual effect going into our water table, going into our food, going into where the farming is, are all of the biological problems that we're having that we see with chemicals that have a residual effect. It's cumulative. We see it. We know that's a fact. So just thinking about that and the air that we breathe, we all share the air, no matter what status you are, no matter who you are, we all share the air. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please have Vanessa Christian, Teresa Bourne, Ashley Collins, Jacqueline Bowie. Next speakers Haley and Parker Christian, please.
Hello, we're from Mission Viejo, and we thank you for your time letting us speak today. We're representing the next generation because not many teens know about this issue. Personally, I have the MTHFR gene mutation, which doesn't allow my body to detox. So the spraying of the aerial spraying for mosquitoes really does not help my body at all. Just with my health. We don't need any more harmful chemicals in our ecosystem. All the spraying bleeds into our ecosystem, killing the beneficial insects, plants, and animals. None of the chemicals being sprayed have been tested long term. We may have been trying to get rid of the mosquitoes, but are we willing to jeopardize the well-being of the people and all the other beneficial, plants, animals, and insects, including the bees, which is our number one pollinators in our environment? We're already having enough trouble with the toxins being sprayed on the ground. Now we're doing it in the air. We need less toxins, not more. Many cities across the U.S. are fighting these aerial assaults. The toxins are showing up in the food we eat, in the parks we play in, and also tumors in children causing cancer. I thank each and every one in the back of the room that took time out of their schedule today fighting for my tomorrow. Thank you.
I hate days when my whole classroom uses a Sharpie and I get a headache and it makes it hard for my brother and I to study. I also hate when I see notices that have sprayed adulticides outside and I feel sick even before I read it. Please look into non-toxic methods to eradicate this issue. I don't want anyone to contract a virus from mosquitoes either, but I assure you if you continue using these immune-compromising toxins like candy, it won't just be your employees getting cancer, it could be me. Let's discuss fundraising if we don't have the budget to educate the public. I'm only 16 and I know how to protect myself from mosquitoes and I know when to apply repellent, but most importantly, I remove standing water. Don't poison me because of corrugated pipes underground which aerial spraying won't touch. Thank you.
Next speaker, please. Vanessa Christian. Going once.
Just right here.
Vanessa Christian, again, Vanessa Christian, Teresa Bourne, Ashley Collins, and Jacqueline Bowie. Please proceed to the side wall here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Christian, and I am a resident of Mission Viejo. I try not to miss any of these meetings, and I feel saddened that some of the non-internal items could not be heard at a more convenient time for more working folks, such as the aerial spraying of toxins above our Orange County, which I love. I also want to ask if you knew the reason that the representative from Mission Viejo doesn't seem to make these meetings a priority, and if it may be mandatory for him to hear these speakers here today. Since I've been coming to these meetings regarding mosquitoes, being that I am a resident of Mission Viejo, I have yet to meet this gentleman. I spoke on numerous occasions at Mission Viejo City Council meetings as well, and he wasn't there as well when I spoke. It concerns me when it comes to the voting for Vector Board if these members aren't fully up to date and well-schooled on both sides of this issue. One constant as it pertains to the mosquito issue has been budget. Pathetically, other counties just north of us, I have spoken to the head of their vector control, and they've told me that their budgets are like $400,000, and the last I heard, we are between $30,000 and $40,000. That's not enough, Orange County. We need to do something about this budget. I do appreciate all the changes that you've made since I've been here last. I was out of town for a few weeks, and when I came back, I was happy to hear some of these positive changes. However, I think personally, when I hear things like nobody was at the Orange County Fair where thousands of people passed through, and I know I personally would have ran that table and had it stocked every hour of the day, we got a problem. You guys have told me on the board that you were gonna call me, you were gonna educate me, pull me into meetings, and I told you, in return for that, I
Thank you
would
very
not
much.
charge you a thing to do the work to educate the public.
Thank you for your comments, appreciate it. Teresa Bourne, please.
My name is Teresa, and I currently stay in the city of Garden Grove. I'm here today wearing 3 different yet connected hats, so to speak, in regards to aerial spraying of insecticides. I will start with the first 2 hats. I am a woman with chronic respiratory issues and a mother of a child with chronic lung damage. There are days that breathing is a struggle for me, like today. I have to be very careful with what I am exposed to limit my respiratory problems. I worry that aerial spraying will cause irreparable harm to my already damaged and weak lungs. As a mother to a child with severe lung damage from a rare form of cancer that he was diagnosed with at 6 months, who remains immunocompromised, I have many concerns. This child is currently 8 years old by a miracle. He loves playing outdoors, something we never dreamed he would have the chance to do. His lungs were 80% riddled with disease, and at this time, his doctors tell me we have to watch everything he is exposed to, because further damage to his lungs will lead to a lung transplant that will only give him 2 more years of life. I don't want to lose my child because someone decides to poison him. Finally, I'm here wearing a hat that I doubt you hear speak here often. I am a legally homeless woman. My family is legally homeless, through no fault of our own. My son's cancer treatments took everything from us. We are one of the luckies. We live in a motel, but there are days we don't know if we're going to make ends meet that week. We have friends who have children. Thousands of people live on the streets in this county. They do not have a place to stay at night. There are families such as my own who are living in a motel that has no proper way to prevent air from getting in if you spray to let those poisons in. I have no way to get my son out of town to protect his lungs. I can't afford it. You don't normally see someone who's homeless speaking here because they don't know. How can they know? There's nothing out in the areas that they are in telling us.
Okay, ma'am, thank you very much. Can I please have Lisa Bowie, Michelle Sinning, give a butcher that, Joanne Sosa, Susan Bourne, and Joe, I can't read your writing. Brand.
Embriano.
Joe Embriano. Thank you.
Okay, I'm kind of teary after Tracy. But thank you for listening to me today. I'm here to voice my opposition, of course, to aerial spraying and really of vector control altogether. I realize that aerial spraying is not on the agenda today. However, I also realize that nothing from this group is clear to anybody, not even you trustees, okay? And this is terrible. It's unacceptable. It is not okay. Half of you didn't even know what you were voting on back in April, okay? Like, this is bad, okay? This is bad. And nobody knows if there's a committee who's gonna vote on spraying, or if it's all of you. Who knows? And who's on that committee? I don't know. I searched through every single agenda and minutes to find it since the April meeting. Nothing, okay? Nothing. Then I believe Jerry, I'm not sure, I think he left, asked the last meeting, And apparently it's the whole board, but I don't know, I thought you guys voted on an executive committee, and Jared's shaking his head, nobody knows what's going on. Anyway, that needs to be resolved like today. Additionally, I'm here because I'm a taxpayer, and part of that $11 million that vector control got was from me. And every other Orange County resident sitting in this room, which ironically enough, many of the paid employees here don't even live in Orange County. But I digress. I don't know about you, but as a single mom and a child who has severe health issues, I work my butt off to live here, and I'm sick and tired of not being listened to. My money goes to pay you and your services, and I hear 80K goes to freaking radios? I mean, this is like embarrassing.
Okay, thank you very much. Joe and Brienne, Lisa Bowie and Michelle Sinning, are you here?
Yes, Jacqueline is next, right? Or after Joe, go ahead, Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joe Briano, and I'm not going to be nice. So I'm not going to be nice when what's on the line is on the line. And let me tell you something, their data is skewed because they sampled a lot of mosquitoes, but not a lot of people. So they're going to find a high incidence of West Nile infection of these mosquitoes, because the more you track, the more you're going to find. There have been dead mosquitoes, dead birds around this community for decades. I grew up around them. These corrugated storm drains can be solved with olive oil. Look what the third world countries do. We don't need to be running around a glass house with a hammer to solve this problem. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening here is the beginning of an agenda. There are several agendas in place already. We're now being forcibly injected with disease and toxins. We are being sprayed aerially with metallic nano compounds to modify the weather. And now we are being dosed with the water being fluoridated and brominated and all these other halide toxic compounds in our water. And now we have a problem in search of a solution that's going to fit into a much larger agenda that is here to dupe all of you into going along with it. And that is to spray whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, in whatever quantity, in whatever fashion they deem necessary. I urge you all to say no. I urge you to call the police if you sense this is happening. File criminal assault charges against the people that are perpetrating this. And another thing, I'll make myself very clear. This is eugenics. That's what this is. This is eugenics. This has no business in the OC. That budget for advertising and outreach is a joke. DDT was sprayed on school children. They said it was safe. Cigarettes, they said they were safe. Malathion, they said was safe. They say this stuff is safe. I say the heck
Okay,
is.
thank
Where's
you
all the
very
donkeys?
much, appreciate it.
And a minute and a half is ridiculous.
Susan,
3 minutes.
Excuse me, hang on one second. There's a red Nissan Sentra, license plate 7HWW247. If you can go move that car to another location, it's blocking somebody right now, that would be great, thank you.